Welcome to the Backyard Professor live show. It is Sunday night, December 29th. How are we all tonight? I see there's some from London, some people from Detroit. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to all the new subscribers who've been subscribing. I appreciate it. Hit the like button and share the video and subscribe and all that fun jazz and doodah. Hey, Tim Rathbone, a good friend of mine. Good to see you again. Christine Stevens, M.A. Steve's Happy Little Trees. I have a few of those in my yard, Steve. And Firefly, good to see you. Good to see all of you. And Eagle's Eye View Images. Woohoo! Okay, so how can this possibly be? We're at the end of the year, 2024. Just took right off. Disappeared. I just barely got used to writing 2024. Now I have to write 2025. How fast time is passing is just maddening to me. And it won't slow down. I'm going to go. All of you can join me. We need to protest. We need to get picket signs. Go stand on the streets and march up and down the streets. We demand time slows down. That'll prove we're all nut jobs after all, won't it? Hey, welcome everybody. Good to see y'all. Glad you could all be here. I want to kind of wrap up the year on a good note. I want to have an informative live this time. I really do have some really critical information to share with you tonight that I'm excited to share with you. I also have a couple of really spectacular UFO videos that I want to show you. And I haven't seen these before. And just have a good time. I mean, look, we're at the end of the year. We can do a collective sigh. Okay, we made it through another year. Let's get this going, baby. Hey, Randy Redmond. I just saw Randy over there on Farsight's. Farsight's doing a live right now. And I've been over there for the last 20 or 30 minutes hanging out, listening to what he's saying about things. He's an interesting guy, I'll tell you what. So, all right, you guys. Let's, I'll tell you what. Hold on. I see. I will, FI. I will check out the concept of GN. Absolutely. Yep. There hasn't been an invasion, and it's a few days away until 2025. Hyper clown time. Good argument. On the other hand, what do you term an invasion? I've got an interesting clip I will share tonight from Jim Semivan, of all people. He was one of the big head dogs in the CIA. And what he says, which is quite remarkable. So I will share that with you tonight as well. Long Island, New York here. William Hernandez, good to see you. Yeah, there's a distinction being made even by those in power now. And this is really kind of fun. It's interesting to know. I would say this is a development, but, on the other hand, I don't know if it's a development or if it's just a dawning realization that the drones aren't the only vehicles up there making whoop-de-doo in the air. There are also orbs. And so this gets interesting. Let me, I've said hi to a lot of you people. I can't name y'all. Good heavens, I'll be here all night saying hi to y'all. But I love y'all. Hi from Georgia. Sandra Simpson, thank you. Oh, thank you. Central Pennsylvania, Tut 25. Woohoo! Good deal. Florida's coming in. So you're all coming in from all over the world. This is what's so amazing about this process. I make friends and get to know people from all over the world. It's spectacular. I love it. Hey, Marlena Smith. How are you doing? You are something else. Yeah, Jim Semivan's fun. Okay, and from the UK. Okay, I got to quit looking at the chat. I'm not going to get started here. And then everyone's going to say, you took too long to introduce the subject. Shut up and show us stuff. If you take more than 10 seconds, you're blowing it. So I blew it. Maybe I should just sign off right now and call it a night. No, I wouldn't do that. Yes, I do still do chess vids, Gunther. I've just got to get back to them. I've kind of let him slip. I apologize. Tucson, Arizona, Randy Redmond, good to see you. Yeah. Ooh, ancient Hopi prophecy tells of orbs returning. Well, they're here. Where's the blue star? Careful. I don't know if we're ready for the blue Caccini yet. That is a video I sincerely want to make. I will see if I can make that. Might be a good way to start off 2025, huh? The Hopi prophecies are fantastically interesting. In fact, I promised I'd do a video. I will do a video on them. St. Louis, all right. Debster. Omaha, yes. New Zealand, yes. Virginia, yes. Washington. You guys are doing this on purpose to derail me, aren't you? This is a conspiratorial, I tell you. South Georgia here. All right. Let's get going. I've got... And I'm going to open the show this way because I have so much respect for this man. And I get it. There are some people who say this guy is a complete nut job. He has completely flipped his lid. I don't see it that way. It is obvious by now, if you read a little history, and I do, I majored in history, got my bachelor's in it. That was ancient history way back in 1996, man. But yeah, I know the historical process and how to do research. That's why I've got all these blasted books. And this is just a part of my library. I have a whole shelf. You want to see? You think I'm kidding, don't you? I have a whole shelf of books sitting in front of me, all the way around there. And then over here, I've got more books there. And then over on that shelf, and then around behind me here where my chessboard is. My entire room is surrounded by books. And I like to tell people and instruct them and understand that you have to understand something. I have read every last page of every book in my library. And when you understand what I say there, I have read every last page of every book. Yeah. All right, quit clowning around. It's time to get serial. We have to be serial. If you're not serious, you're not professional. And if you're not professional, ain't nobody know how going to spend their time watching you. So, my hair's straight. Okay, it's time to be professional. Welcome, good people of ufology. We are so grateful to have you in our presence tonight. We have some valid information to share with you, which will completely, utterly, and devastatingly change your lives for the better. And now you know why I don't do professional. That's bullshit. Let's have some fun. Let's go, though. It's time. Let me put up. This is really an excellent interview just done just a couple days ago with Danny Sheehan and his lovely wife. And this is a most important man in ufology. He is exquisitely interesting. Yeah, you got to have a little bit of fun. If you can't laugh at work, then you're doing something wrong, right? That's my opinion. I mean, I don't take myself seriously, so I don't mind goofing around, but I do take the subject seriously, and it's a lot of fun. So, okay. Let me just do the full... Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. Let me do the full screen here. Now, this is Danny Sheehan being interviewed with his lovely wife, and let's hear what they have to say. This is... What I like about this, you guys, is if you want to get involved, pay real good attention right here, right now. This is how to do it. And I'm involved here with the New Paradigm Institute, and it's a very excellent institute.
Any updates for this coming year?
Yes. I just had a long conversation yesterday with one of the United States senators who called, and I recommended that he go and meet with Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, who is now going to be the new head of the Senate Intelligence Committee, to get them to reintroduce Senate Bill 2226 that was passed by the United States Senate in 2023, setting out this 64-page bill to set up this entire set of protocols pursuant to which there could be a controlled disclosure process that was going to reveal all of the information that exists. We know perfectly well that the same elements that are inside the national security state, deeply buried inside the national security state, the so-called legacy group, that's been lying and concealing this information for the past 80 years at least. They're going to manipulate that and try to continue to contain the information. The great experiment we have here in this country is that those who set up the Constitution stated that it was for the purposes of empowering the regular people. So we have that on the table to work with. We have faith that there is a phenomenon, a force that is operational in the universe that is in support of that happening. We believe that in the coinage of the normal realm is this is a natural law that is functioning in the universe. And the Constitution of the United States is set up ostensibly to bring into fulfillment the natural law.
Okay, now I get it. Some people can't stomach Danny Sheehan. It's all good. Some people think he's a genius. You can count me in on that. This man is a treasure. And the cool thing is he gets involved. He is actually a United States lawyer for a defender of the public. He protects our public rights. And we owe him far more than we can imagine for allowing us to keep our rights. But now the time has come that we need to build it up. We need to, you and I, buddy, you and me, my grateful, great, wonderful, loving, intelligent audience, we need to get active as well. That's what the New Paradigm Institute is. And Danny has put this thing together. It's easy to join. It's a pleasure to associate with great people because, as we will find out here in just a minute, there are really easy ways to get involved and to make a difference that do not take up an hour a day of your time or 3 hours a day of your time at all. Let's keep listening.
We're inviting people all over the country and now even in the world in 33 countries to join with us in this. What people can do if they go to our website is they can join as a member and help support what we're doing, or they can become part of Citizens for Disclosure and be activists in their local area and join with other activists there and form a community locally. In 2025, our goal is to develop teams in every one of the 435 congressional districts in the United States, so that every single congressperson, we would have a team in their district, organizing and educating people locally. People are having fun at the local levels doing this, and they're finding friends and coming together and having social events together. And
Unifier.
Yeah, it's a unifier, and it's totally bipartisan. We have in the Congress itself, we have people, Republicans and Democrats, everybody's been cut out of this, even our elected leaders, our scientists, our physicists, our academicians, our business people. They've all been left out. Disclosure began in December 2023, and it's going to continue, and things are going to be happening that we can't even predict. But we know that disclosures are going to continue.
Now, that is important because she's letting us know that there are ways to get activated in fun, interesting ways. But did you notice what she said? Disclosure has begun. Now, she puts the time scale at 23 with the first congressional hearing within 50 years or so. But disclosure has begun. So, one of the adjustments I'm thinking is that we, the public, probably ought to try hard to get used to is it's realistically, it's not going to be the government that gives us the information, even though they have already given it to us. We are just not as familiar with the history of ufology as we ought to be. They've already admitted through their words and their actions that they know the ETs are real. If you really want some stunning evidence on this. Seriously, this book came highly recommended the day after Roswell by Colonel Philip J. Corso. I'm about halfway through it, and it is incredible. An insider, Corso, was a U.S. retired 1915 to 1998, a key Army intelligence officer who served in General MacArthur's staff in Korea and later on Dwight D. Eisenhower's National Security Council as a lieutenant colonel. You want to know what this man's caliber is? Here we go. In his 21-year military career, he was awarded with 19 medals, ribbons, and decorations for meritorious service. I get it. There's some, I think even Lou Elizondo has said, well, there's parts of this book that aren't, completely accurate, etc. But this is from Corso's point of view as an insider. And I get it. Yeah, insider, he's not going to tell you the truth and all. You will see the knowledge that caused us to get into a nuclear arms race in the first place, as well as go to the moon to try to set up a military base on the moon in order to combat. No, not the Russians. We were in cahoots with them behind the scenes. We were worried more about the extraterrestrials. That's one of the biggest revelations I've ever read. That's in this book. So, what Sheehan has done that I personally am finding very, very cool is they're activating. I apologize. I should say the Sheehans, because his wife is involved with this also. He's more the public face, all right, of that. But yeah, I really enjoy very much their activities. Let's keep going and see what else they say. That is so interesting. And I love the approach of Danny here. It's his turn to talk, I do believe. Let's hear what he says. This is what gets me excited, and it's why I want to share it with you guys. Because while we're a small group, we can be a mighty group.
This is actually a citizen uprising. It's a citizen uprising to take control of our own government and to take it out of the hands of this element that is serving the interests only of 1% of our people. That's really what this is, because we find that such a high percentage of the people really want to know. They really want to know what this is. And whether they're Republicans or Democrats or conservatives or liberals or progressives or even reactionaries, that they all share the same desire.
I'd talked to a lot of people who are like, it makes sense that they want to keep it secret because what if Russia? And it's once again fear, just like 70% of the black budget could be declassified without actual harm to national security. And I would even suggest same thing for UFOs, where the more we know, the more we can take better action that could actually transform literally our lives. These little action steps we take, even if it feels like, oh, nothing really came from that congressional hearing, but it did. More people are speaking out, and it's just becoming more normalized. So
that is right. Right. You're not too young. You're not too old. You're not too overeducated. You're not too undereducated. Everybody can participate in this process.
Yeah. And that was the point that I wanted to actually emphasize. I mean, there is so much that each and every single one of us can contribute. Now, of course, there's going to be some who contribute more than others. That's all good. It doesn't matter. It's not like it's a contest. See who can do the most in this organization. No, that's not what it's about. What it is about, though, is getting our voice to our congressman. Now, I'm quite disappointed with mine because he keeps taking the subject off the rails and bringing up other stupid agendas that they want us to focus on. And I keep telling him, no, I'm talking about rights of whistleblowers and protection of those coming out to tell us about the UFOs. Stay focused. Stay on topic. I'm paying you you're making money because you've been voted in, but it's our public money, then you pay attention to what we want. And so far, he keeps trying to derail it. I'm very disgusted. You know, give me Tim Burchett of Tennessee any day, whom I will share with you tonight. Let me scribble that out. But first, before we do, once again, one of the anchor points for me, and this is just, I get it. Everyone has a different, point of view. They really do. It's all good. I don't feel the need to try to convert anyone to my point of view. But the power and beauty of this entire issue is it really has begun to be a unifier in our country. It's not about politics. It is not about religion. It is not about the economy or sociology, and yet it does involve all of those. But talk about a unifying subject that can give us goals. It can give us a reason for waking up every day and saying, all right, what am I going to accomplish today? I'm going to do one thing toward helping disclosure of UFOs. Maybe I'll read an article. Maybe I'll make a video. Maybe I'll continue reading a book. Maybe I'll have a fun conversation, etc., etc., etc. There's always something a little extra you can do every day, and that is getting involved. I can join the New Paradigm Institute, start rubbing shoulders with people who have tremendous resources, who have tremendous knowledge. Oh my gosh, the group of people, the scientists and the politicians and the great people who join in this group is pretty cockeyed impressive, man. I'm excited. So anyway, that's my sales pitch, as it were. Not really a sales pitch, but just to give you a resource that, okay, we're at the end of this year. What can we do to improve next year? Jump on New Paradigm Institute with us and let's go have some fun while helping humanity, because this is a worldwide situation we're in. No kidding. The Orbs are all around the world. They're pretty much in many, many, many countries, and they're showing up. So, I mean, this is a world issue, which means who's the dominant species? We are humans. That means this is a total world human situation we find ourselves in. Yeah. This is for our children and our grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren. So fun stuff. I want to share, which one have I got? Okay. Yeah, this one. This man was a top CIA expert, Jim Semethan. He says something very important about a very important person in ufology that I still believe is and can continue to make a difference. Let's hear what Jim has to say. Let me make sure it shows first. Yep, there he is. Okay, here we go. Let's take a listen about his wisdom.
I just think they're a great all-American family, but when Chris went through,
he's talking about him meeting Chris Bledsoe as a CIA agent investigating Chris Bledsoe's UFO claims. I've heard Chris's side. Now I finally found Jim's side.
And I believe every word he tells me and about this. And not only do I believe every word he tells me, he attracted the attention of a lot of people. DIA, NASA, CIA, other agencies. Everybody wanted to get close to a great all-American family. But when Chris went through, and I believe every word he tells me and about this. And not only do I believe every word he tells me, he attracted the attention of a lot of people. DIA, NASA, CIA, other agencies. Everybody wanted to get close to him. Everybody wanted to know as much as information as they possibly can, because his experience it took in not only the classic abduction scenario, because he had missing time, right, where he had no idea what was going on, right, but he also met the entities themselves, and he also met the lady.
Yeah.
And not many people meet the lady, and I think, and the lady is an element in all of this that really hasn't been explored very much. I will tell you that in some circles it's taken very, very seriously, but
yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share. He doesn't go into the philosophy of the lady in Chris Bledsoe's story. I have in former videos, and I have every intention of continuing exploring that aspect of Chris Bledsoe's experience. Someday, hopefully, maybe I can get Chris on my show, or Ryan. Chris has said just recently that he has over 8,000 emails that he has not even been able to open yet. So he is swamped, and I get it. Everybody wants to get a piece of him, so to speak, as it were. I think I wouldn't even mind flying out there just to stand in the same town he lives in without even worrying about where he lives, and just look up at the skies, because he's out there with groups of people all the time. You can see the orbs. You don't have to be with Chris, but you know he's going to call them out. Now, the interesting thing is the orbs, from my understanding, and of course this is second, maybe even potentially third hand, I'm aware of that, but the orbs communicate. That's remarkable. I mean, Great Gatsby, that's remarkable. The orbs communicate. So we're dealing with something that's extremely interesting. I'll put it that way. All right, now let's see. Oh yeah. Let me share something else here. This is one of the UFO videos I discovered today. It's probably one of the old ones, and I'm just catching up. Now, I don't know what to make of this, but this video is remarkable. And I wanted to save it for my last live of the year. So you guys are getting a real treat here. Watch this. So I'm sure some of you have already seen this. This was just posted a couple days ago. This is now yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to defend it. Let's take a look at this. Let's just enjoy the moment together and ask, what the? Let me make sure. Yep, I've got it on the right spot even. Okay. Let's just watch this for a few minutes. California, Indio, California. Holy shit. Oh my God. What in the world?
Okay, we'll watch that again. This time we'll listen to the voice of the witness, the guy that filmed this footage.
Yeah, this is the UAP Files podcast. I like this kid. He's good. But let's take a second look real quick. Just give him a moment. He does a closer look, and he's trying to explore and explain this also. It is a genuine, phenomenal video, whatever it is.
Overlaid over the footage, and I'll try and zoom in a bit and expand it and show you some of the best bits as he talks it over.
So this incident took place on December 18th. It was about 9:14 at night. I was getting ready to, I was in my car and I was getting ready to leave. I was putting some things away in my car, getting ready to put my seatbelt on, when I looked up, through the windshield, and off in the distance in front of me, there was this like a reddish orange light that I saw. It was just below the mountain line. So I was thinking at first that this was probably like a helicopter. So I was finishing up, getting things ready to leave, and I looked back up, and there was a tree that I was parked next to, and I could still see the light coming through the branches of the tree. So I thought, well, because I didn't see any other lights attached to it, no strobe lights, no blue lights or green lights or red lights, just that one solid light. I opened the sunroof in my car and I thought, well, let me see if I can hear anything, thinking that it might be a helicopter. So I opened my sunroof and I got my phone ready also. And about that time, it came out from the other side of the tree. And as I'm sitting in the driver's seat looking up and to the right out the sunroof, it flew over me probably about 100 feet. I would say it flew to the right of the car about 100 feet up in the air.
Okay, so I have to confess something here. There's some videos that are really rather obvious. And I mean, they're fake. There's other videos that appear to be pretty good. I sincerely don't know what to make of this one. I have not seen something like this occur before. And this guy says it was only 100 feet above him. Now, he got pretty good video, and you can clearly see something appears. I mean, it's almost like the UFO is pooping, right? Now, if it had just pooped gold and if it had fallen on the ground, right? No, I mean, this is quite remarkable. It's quite a bit different than other things that I've seen. And so I just think, just for the enjoyment of it, to let us experience the mystery, taste the mystery. Now, you saw him zip around the camera, so it was way out there. It was pretty flat. It was easy to look up and see, by that tree. It's just, this is part of the intrigue. This is what keeps us coming back for more, right? You go, wow, wow. It's happening to a lot of people. And I hear from a lot of people in my comments. I see there's a couple of people in chat saying, yeah, I have had experiences too and all. Well, in our day and age, that's no longer a criminal offense to say you've seen stuff in the sky. They used to just about throw you in jail for even hinting at it. Certainly, we used to be mocked, and I suppose some of us are still mocked. It's all good. So what? Let them mock. Who gives a flying flip? Pfft. We know what we experience, right? Now, I have never experienced one like this. I have not seen it. So I just wanted to share that with you as a kind of an end of the year. Let's enjoy one last few minutes moment with what I consider to be a pretty good video of an orb. It looks like it's other orbs coming out of this orb as well, which, wow. So let me share just another couple of minutes. This is a 12-minute long video. I'm not going to show it all to you, but let's keep going. And let's keep seeing what this guy saw. It's just fun. Very interesting.
It flew by very silently. I did not hear anything. I know the sound of helicopters. This was definitely not a helicopter. It was that one single orb-like light, no other lights attached to it. I hit my phone video recorder. I stuck my phone out the sunroof, and I was, because of the location I was in my car as it went by, I was actually watching through the video on my phone, so I didn't have like my eyes on the object itself. I was watching it through the video of the phone, and when I saw that it sort of spit out that first light or whatever it was, then that's when I focused in a little more tightly on the object, and I was able to catch the other two things that it ejected out. Now, what you really don't see on the video is, I mean, you can kind of see the first object that came out, something associated with it actually turns around and flies back up. If you focus in, you can see that on the video. Now, about that time, I jumped out of the car. I'd stopped the recording. I jumped out of the car, and two of the lights, when they dimmed, it looked to me, they're just like a little pinpoint of light, like a distant star. It looked to me after they dimmed that those two took off to the south.
Okay, so another thing I'd like to say, and it's really kind of amusing in a way, but it has a very powerful point. These are not planets, because we all know planets don't do that. Right? I mean, even Velikovsky would have been blown away by this, right? So, yeah, to bring up a name from ancient ufology and ancient mythology and all that, man, he was lambasted and slaughtered and damned by the establishment science of his day, wasn't he? If any of you have ever read Velikovsky. But that's not what I'm about tonight. So, anyway, that's just remarkable. That's, in fact, at this point, for me, it's not even about trying to solve it. I've watched that video about 5 times now. Just enjoy what you're seeing in the sky. It's like nothing else I've seen. That's fun. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you at the end of the year. And okay, and now I've got one more that I would like to share with you. And then we'll talk just a little bit, and we shall. That one. Oh, yeah, that's the one. All right, yeah, let's look at this one. And welcome all you new subscribers, those of you who just jumped in. I saw the numbers bump up a little bit. Welcome, you guys. Thank you. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Share the video with people. Subscribe and hit the notifications, because I'm getting ready to ramp up on the video production. I always try to bring you something that's, well, I mean, helpful, useful, interesting, most of the time intriguing, I hope. There's going to be times, I've noticed a very interesting pattern with my audience so far, with my subscribers, I should say. When I get to debunk some videos, I lose a few subscribers. And that's so fascinating. When I share some videos that really bring up, like the one we just saw, I get more subscribers. It's not about the number of subscribers, though. It's about recognizing, and I know the majority of you who have been with me for this last month and a half, you've seen enough of my videos. I get it. You do understand how to discriminate a good video from a bad video. But there's new people who are coming on that might not quite know that. So I'm not trying to talk down to you. It's just a process of educating ourselves and saying, look, not everything you see is valid. That we have to get used to that. And that means when you see something, even if it's on one of your favorite UFO channels and it is wrong, then I say it's wrong. I'm willing to change my mind if new evidence comes out. But anyway, so yeah, let's take a look at this. This is a fun one. This is quite interesting. All right, here we go. Let's take a look.
Where did it come from? Just 600 miles north of Laredo is the White Sands Proving Ground, a classified aviation research facility. 3 months before the crash in Laredo, scientists at White Sands reported witnessing a large, disc-shaped UFO performing sharp, aggressive maneuvers over the base. The craft vanished, and no explanation was ever provided. Could the object that crashed in Laredo be an experimental aircraft from White Sands?
What I'm doing with this one is I'm trying to give us a little bit of everything in this last show of the year for my channel. I've given you a really cool looking video, right? I've given you an absolutely sensational opportunity to get involved and join a sensationally well-organized, fun, remarkably intelligent group of people, the New Paradigm Institute and Citizens for Disclosure. Now I want to share with you a very interesting but little known historical event of UFOs that the government knows exists. That's what I'm doing here. So let's keep watching. This is quite remarkably, fantastically interesting.
Or could it have an extraterrestrial origin? George Marshall was no stranger to UFO-related incidents. He was involved in overseeing one of the most significant UFO events in U.S. history, the Battle of Los Angeles. In February 1942, air raid sirens suddenly blared across the Southern California coastline during the night. Searchlights were activated, and they locked onto an unidentified object in the sky, surrounded by anti-aircraft flak. What was this object? Was it a Japanese bomber? If so, why couldn't the anti-aircraft defenses bring it down? Thousands of witnesses reportedly saw the UFO, but George Marshall officially denied any UFO activity. However, he privately sent a memo to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, which contained a surprising conclusion about the Los Angeles air raid. This headquarters has determined that the craft bombarded by the military are not of earthly origin and are likely of interplanetary origin, according to secret intelligence sources. The government's claim that the event was caused by a weather balloon doesn't align with the evidence. Even after 60 years, there's still no clear explanation for what happened that night. Marshall knows the crash will be much harder to hide than the wartime incident. Coming up, the...
Okay. That's really interesting. Did you notice the year that he said that happened? That's before Roswell. Roswell wasn't the first crash. And this was a direct confrontation because of how the military interpreted this UFO hovering around. Maybe it was doing what the Tic Tacs did in David Fravor's experience in 2004. Maybe it was jumping up and then coming back down and hovering around, etc. So the military interpreted its movements and its idea as hostile, and so they returned fire. Very, very interesting idea here. I do understand, and I am in sympathy with this because we need to know that our government can protect us. This might be one of the really crazy problems with the current response to all of the drones. Have you noticed the effect that it's had of separating the people's trust from the government even further? Is this a setup? You know, I'm not trying to make anybody paranoid, but it's something we have to at least understand and gently weigh in our minds, or heavily weigh in our minds. Not that we have to come to fast and hard conclusions, but we need to be discriminating. I've noticed, studying this UFO stuff, the word discriminating in my vocabulary has begun to be more used. It's so interesting how, of all the words that I'm starting to use, why that one? Isn't that interesting? Kind of an interesting psychological situation with me. Okay, let's keep going here. Yeah, there's one more aspect of this that I do want to share with you that I thought was extremely fun and very interesting.
The Laredo wreckage leads to an extraordinary discovery, one Marshall will reportedly do whatever it takes to keep hidden. In 1948, a strange craft crashes south of the Mexican border near Laredo, Texas. Secretary of State George Marshall gets approval from Mexican officials to recover it. The recovery team begins taking apart the object, but its metal resists even the heat of acetylene torches. They are forced to use carbide and diamond drills and saws to cut through the hull. What they find inside is shocking: the burned body of the craft's pilot. Witnesses describe the being as alien in appearance, about 4.5 feet tall, with hands that have only 4 claw-like fingers. The head is humanoid in shape and size, but clearly not human. Marshall moves quickly to stop news of the discovery from spreading. Witnesses tied to the wreckage are silenced. They are instructed to tell an entirely different story, and the rest is buried. This is reportedly the 3rd time Marshall has worked to cover up evidence of extraterrestrials. Just a year earlier, he oversaw the retrieval of one of the most controversial spacecraft to ever fall to Earth. The Roswell incident.
Yeah. So, and I know all of those alien pictures and stuff. I get it. That's CGI. They're trying to give you the mood of the situation, etc. But and they do pretty good. That's not bad. But this idea of crash ships, alien bodies. No, I'm not telling you anything new tonight. There's many of you who have already heard all of this. There are some who haven't. I will never forget the utter shock that I felt when I heard we had alien bodies. And then the same shock, basically with the same intensity, on the same level, was there again when I heard that we actually had a live alien for several years and interrogated that alien. Wow. So there's still a lot of mystery. There's still a lot of intrigue. There's still a lot of problems with all of this. And you know, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news here, but there's the vast majority of those of us who are here right now tonight, we probably won't live to see the anomalies ironed out. We'll probably never really see the government's role and who was involved, etc. You know, Lazar has tried to share information. Greer is out there trying to share information. People both love and hate them. George Knapp. There's so many people who are attempting to explore and understand, and every one of us have different information, different backgrounds, different abilities, equipment, capabilities, books, ways of sharing the information. So really, the big picture is going to be for our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, truly. In the meantime, we are very fortunate to be in the age of the beginning of the disclosure. Yeah? So, I mean, seriously. And it's a soft disclosure. Let's just recognize that. Yeah, I know we want enough of the chicantery and the obfuscation and the doodling Forget all that noise. We want total disclosure right now. We couldn't handle that. And I know that that does bother some people, but we couldn't. I don't think. So the soft disclosure is the option. And that has been happening. We are a part of that. I'm glad that we can at least be a part of this, right? And see, this is the optimistic end. But I mean, I'm an optimist. I can't help it. You know, is the glass half full or half empty? The point is, the glass has water. Let me have a drink, which is what exactly I'm going to do. So while we're getting more information and further light and knowledge, okay, let me share the scenario for next year with you. I mean, there's always a pessimistic side. There's always an optimistic side. That's inevitable. I'm an optimist. I'm going to share the optimistic side with you because it's what keeps us going. It's what keeps us wanting to wake up and say, yeah, what new is going on today? I rather get excited to jump on the YouTube and see, all right, who's done a video and how have they looked at this UFO thing? You know, are we going to get more of this really stupid, hokey, fake crap? Or is there something really good and valid that I'm going to see today? All of that is very necessary and interesting every day we're alive. It gives us a basis of knowing, granted at secondhand. I have had people, and I will acknowledge that. I acknowledge you right here, right now. You know who you are. You know who you are. I have my eye on you. I've had people who say, look, dude, quit watching other people's videos. Just go have your own experience. Yeah. Okay. No, I mean it. That's legit. I get it. And I am trying to upgrade my equipment. And I am looking at the sky a little more as I have time. And I will, right? And so this is how we do it. One step at a time. The optimistic thing is next year is looking based on what people are saying. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen. I am not predicting. I am not prophesying, as some people love to claim they are on YouTube. I'm iffy on that, you know. But next year could be much more exciting than this year has been. This year has been extremely interesting with the hearings, with the advent and spread of the New Paradigm Institute, with the increased presence of more scientists involved in ufology now. You've got Avi Loeb, you've got Gary Nolan, you've got Kevin Knuth. Knuth is how I've heard his name pronounced, Knuth, all of which I've done videos about. I'd love to get every single one of them on my show next year also. I will give it a shot, but they are very, very busy people. But the increase of scientists in the ufology, all right, that's pretty good. That's cool. That means something is happening. Okay, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. The increase of more politicians. No, we don't want politicians. God, they're the ones that got us in this stupid problem. However, stay calm. Everybody calm down. The more variety of people that we have coming into this whole field, the better likelihood that we are going to continue learning more accurate information, because when the politicians bluff and bluster and lie their asses off to us about things, we now know that we have many more scientists and careful critical thinkers to check the stupidity of the politicians. See what I mean? it will balance out. It's going to give it a chance to grow with an intelligence. It's going to grow with an intellect that it hasn't had a chance to in previous years past. So that's optimistic. That's worth looking forward to, in my opinion. So I just want to say, oh, hey, here we go. I've got someone asking who I am. Who is this idiot? I wonder if that's about me. If it is, I am the backyard professor. If it's not, then whoever the idiot is you're asking him, I don't know who that is. But anyway, thanks for being on the show anyway. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? All right. Hey, try to hold down on calling people names. I'm going to have to block you if you don't. I want the chat to be a nice spot, a nice place. You don't have to start calling people stupid idiots and all that jazz. Would you please show just a little bit more maturity so I don't have to get a moderator? Because I don't have moderators in my chat. And it's driving some people off, and I don't want anyone to feel unwelcome here, okay? So thank you. I appreciate your excitement, but you're not the know-it-all, and you're not God of having all of the information correct. So let's not go that direction. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled arguing. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you, Bruce Smeaton. So we have, where's all the evidence? Where's all the evidence? Information can be counted as evidence. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. There's a lot of skeptical people in the world today that say, no, I mean real evidence. Information is real evidence. Well, how do you know they're telling the truth? Because you read other books that cross-check with these books too. I mean, ultimately, you're going to have to just go have your own experience. Well, if I don't have it in 2 minutes, then it's not real. Don't be so insipidly narrow-minded if that is your approach. And I'm not trying to cuss anyone out. I'm just saying sometimes it takes some effort. You don't go get a PhD in any subject in 2 months that I'm aware of. It takes about 8 years, and then it pays off, right? So, patience is a virtue that our current generation that wants its pizza in 5 minutes doesn't have, and that can be a real detriment to actually learning real knowledge, because that takes time and there is a price to pay for acquiring that. Well, I want to know everything in these books. I'll give you a half an hour to read all of those books. Good luck with that. It's taken me 20 years. Well, tell me all about those books, but I'll only give you 10 minutes. All right, I'll give it to you in 3 seconds. They're really good. Would anybody learn anything that way? No, not really. I hope I can make the point, right? So, all right, you guys. Hey, it's been an hour. Let's call it good tonight at an hour. Because we've had fun. We've seen a good video. We've seen a good historical situation. We've seen a good way to get involved. That's a pretty good way to end the year, right? And I appreciate all of you. You're a fabulous audience. I love interacting with you. I will be making a boatload more videos. I will continue pressing forward, sharing information you may or may not like. Be patient with me, and I'll be patient with you. I will make mistakes. Of course, everyone does. And I will try to straighten out those mistakes. I will share new discoveries. I will share new books. I have other books coming that are really quite fun. I've got several articles that I want to review. So I hope y'all have a happy new year. Yes, it's right around the corner. Remember, don't stay up late, but if you do, have a lot of fun. And still get your 8 hours of sleep. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to call it a good night. Thank you for attending. It's good to see all of you. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all your intellect, your intelligence, your humor, your fun, your love, your decency, and remember, make friends and smile. It makes people wonder what you're up to, and that's fun to do. I promise. I will see you soon. Thanks once again. Hasta la vista, baby.